we're 2 hours 26 minutes at the moment. So why don't we hang around for, I'll hang around for like 4 minutes to make it 2.5 hours. Just to see if anybody's got any questions they'd like to ask regarding animation, hand-drawn animation. I won't really talk about software. I'm an artist. I'm an animator. I'm not a technician. Okay, I'm not a tech head. If you want to learn about that, go ask a technician how to be a technician. If you want to learn how to be an animator, you can ask an animator about animation. This may be too broad of a question. Do you have any advice for animating legs? Yes, yes. Great question. I did a recent lecture about this. You're not going to like my answer, but I'm going to give you a quick demo of why it's the best answer in the world. Okay. Well, you might like my answer. Forgive me. I may be presuming things because it's a lot of people don't like it. But anyway, the answer in a nutshell is anatomy. Okay, because I can start doing. Let me just do something like this. Okay. Let me tell you why anatomy is so important. Okay. Now let me do this. Okay. Let's just put one here, right? Now let me do this. Let's keep it low. Let's keep it low. Okay. Now it would be coming up a bit, yeah. Now let me do this. Okay. Okay, and then now let me do this. Let's make it a Taekwondo style one. Akao the warrior will understand what this technique is. Okay. Now I could get everything right about this. Okay. So we know what it's doing. We know he's doing a front snap kick. Okay. He's recoiling from his rear stance. Now anybody can do that. Well, I know that I executed proper form and technique because I'm a martial artist myself, but anybody can just draw the sticks, basically. That's what I mean. Okay? But here's why you're going to want to know anatomy. Okay? Let me very quickly show you how fast this can become something impressive. It already is, in my opinion, because he's executing a proper front kick. Okay? With proper form. Okay? But now I'm going to explain to you. You might want to, even if you want to do it like the Marvel Comics way. Okay, so we'll talk about the hip box here. So this is a back stance. So we're going to put his hips like this. We're going to find his knees. Okay. So now I'm going to draw this, and I'm gonna draw this. I'm drawing these shapes intuitively nice anyway because I know anatomy. But let's say that you've become good at drawing intuitive shapes. Okay, let's say that you've become good at drawing intuitive shapes. Okay, so now he's in what we call a Dui Sugi or a Tik Sugi, depending on whether you are international or world. A back stance. Okay, so let's put some pelvic girdle in there as well. Okay, right. So now let me just do this organically by getting rid of the next panel. Okay, so now we're going to recoil that pelvis, but we're going to turn it more to make it more front on. Okay, so you see this is going to affect everything. Okay, So I'm going to turn that more front on. Now I need to lower the patella knee, but I'm just going to deal with just the shapes, okay? But I'm going to tell you why I can draw these shapes so well and why it all fits in the right place. So now we're going to slide this front foot in. I don't know why I'm thinking of Mage Burger when I'm doing this. I don't know why. He's got, you know, he used to do karate, but that's not the reason. Okay, so we're gonna bring this leg in like this. I'm gonna maybe turn some of the foot out like that. Okay, so we got something like this. I'm not talking to you, Siri. Why are you answering me? Okay. Then we're going to bring this up slightly. Okay. So I'm going to bring this up. Okay. But this is going to come. We're going to be more. I'm going to arc it out. Okay. I'm going to push it. I'm going to exaggerate it. He would lose some power really if he was going to do it this way. But I'm going to arc it out, and I'm going to. We want to put his hip into the technique. So that's why I'm rotating his front hip. Just like Bruce Lee said in The Way of the Dragon, you got to learn to put your hip into it. Okay. So he's putting his hip. Okay. I'm rotating it more. Okay. You see, you got to understand where the abductors come off the pubis bone, but I'm not, the ischial tuberosity, but I'm not talking about that at the moment. So again, we're going to come here like this. I'm going to stretch this. Let's just compare that with that. Okay. Yeah, that feels right. Okay. Now we're going to actually, his core muscles will be bringing up, his iliopsoas will be coming into action here, so we won't be dipping his pelvis too much. So now we're going to actually bring his knee up higher than I originally had. Okay. I'm going to do something like this. Okay. I can bring this. This is the ischial tuberosity. This is why I curve this. Okay. Because your tibia is curved. It has something called a ischial not a ischial, a tibial tuberosity. Okay. The tibial tuberosity exists because the patella tendon attaches to it. Okay. So again, you see, I'm already hinting on the importance of the anatomy and how I'm drawing these legs. Okay. So now we're going to bring this foot up as the pelvis is now going to turn. Okay. Pelvis is now going to turn back to its original view. Okay. I'm going to turn that pelvis there like that. We're going to straighten this up. Like this. So the reason I'm doing this is I'm doing this as a demo on purpose. Okay. Because I want you to see that how you say any advice on animating legs. One, you have to know what you're animating. Okay. We want to see the rise in the knee. One, you have to know what you're animating. So how it moves. But can you see, I haven't really done anything other than just draw two stick lines. And those two stick lines can represent anything. But you got to understand the way the joints move, which is why I'm talking about the pelvis, okay, and the patella, and all these things, okay. And then you got to understand. So now, see here, he would be coming on tiptoes because he's doing an extended front kick, okay, which is not really the way a Muay Thai guy would do it, or a karate guy. This is more a Korean front kick. If Sojong An is in the chat, she will laugh at my pronunciation. The up chagi, okay. So this is going to come back like this. Okay. Where we're going to bring this. So we need to understand the glute muscles underneath here to draw that properly. Okay, because I'm just working on legs. So it wasn't a broad question. Okay, it's a broad question to somebody who would not be able to, who doesn't really know and is pretending that they know. But I can explain this stuff to you with such ease because I really do know. I have the know-how. I have the knowledge of these things. So it is not it's hopefully you can see. So now we're going to come in, and we're going to come in on this leg. So you need to understand the arcing of the patella as we're going to come down and bring our foot, our weight back down and turn our foot out. Okay, because we're shifting that weight of that rear foot to thrust the power of the hip into our forward momentum of the kick to do maximum damage. Okay, so this, ideal form is to not have the leg drop, but the leg invariably, no matter how good you are, if you put more power in there, the leg invariably drops, because that's what happens. This isn't ballet, okay? Although it's becoming ballet the way competitive taekwondo has been destroyed over the years. Right, so I'm going to turn that out, and we're going to point that foot. Bal now. No, bal now is knife. I've forgotten the word for the ball of the foot. So Jong An can correct me about that. Okay, so here we have some legs. Okay, doing a front kick. Okay, no live action reference, but it may as well be. Okay, now how was I able to do that? Well, the pelvis kind of hints that out. The pelvis kind of hints at you about that. But I'm going to come in here before I go, and then I'm going to end the live stream because this is a great way to finish. I'm going to come in here and explain to you that it isn't that easy to just draw these shapes and to have a vague idea of anatomy. Okay? And I'm not pulling the wool over your eyes. Okay? I'm not. So let me now get a blue over this. Over here we have something called the sartorius, which comes down here. Okay, from here, which comes to our patella tendon. From here we have something called a gracilis. Okay, and in between here we have hip flexors, iliopsoas. Okay, coming through there. But on the front of here we have a femur, a rectus femur, rectus femoris, a vastus lateralis, and a vastus medialis at the side. Okay, the patella sits here with the patella tendon. Okay, over here on this side we have our fibularis longus or our peroneus longus. At the back we have our gastrocnemius and our tibialis anterior. Okay, which curls under here to the fibularis longus, fibularis tertius, fibularis brevis, tibialis anterior, extensor digitorum helicus longus, extensor digitorum longus, extensor helicus longus. Okay, inside here we have abductor magnus, abductor brevis, and abductor longus. Okay, all attached on the tibial tuberosity and the pubic bone of hair to your femur bone of the leg. Okay, that is how my unconscious eye can see all of these shapes. Okay, abductors, sartorius, gracilis. Okay, this is the rectus femoris, medialis, Along here, the back would be the biceps femoris. Here would be the abductor magnus and the gracilis, abductor brevis, abductor longus. Tibialis the tendon of the patella. On the tibialis anterior, the gastrocnemius at the side here, and the soleus muscle coming there like that. Can you see? This is what my eye is really seeing when I'm making these shapes. My eye understands how the sartorius and all this is going to... Now we can really deform and squash and stretch these shapes. Okay? We can come in here and we can squash and stretch the calf. We can really start, playing, and depending on your knowledge. So if you're just a Marvel Comics boy who has some knowledge, okay, you're going to just fall into the trap of just drawing a few bulges here and there. But if you're a real animator who understands each and every one of these, you can squash and stretch them to your heart's content. So I can come in here and say, okay, well, the sartorius is going to be coming around here. These muscles are going to be on the rise, so the squash and stretch is a little bit different. Of course, we have something called the tensor fasciae latae on the other side, which we do not see in this particular angle. Okay, then you have the gluteus, the glutes coming through at the back, okay? The glutes coming through at the back. Rectus femoris, gracilis, sartorius, okay? This coming through here. You have all these things coming through at the back, okay? So then here would be an example, okay? Sartorius, okay? Vastus lateralis, rectus femoris, medialis, okay? Gracilis, abductors, glutes, okay? Gluteals at the side. Okay, abductors here, sartorius, gracilis, okay, coming here like this. Gastrocnemius, squashing and stretching with the soleus, okay. Here the rotation here, so gastrocnemius on this side, okay. Tibialis anterior coming through around under this talos bone here, okay, rotating. So you see the division here, you see the division coming in here as we're rotating to the side. You need to understand all this stuff. Okay. Again, out here. Almost done. Almost done with my little demo. Okay. So sartorius, top of the iliac crest, all the way through down here. Gracilis. Put my abductors. Abductor stretch. Okay. This is why we stretch the abductors. Okay, coming through here, probably more like this. Okay, gluteus. Okay, a little bit of the biceps femoris, the semimembranosus. Okay, the semitendinosus on the other side. Gastrocnemius. Okay, so here we have rectus femoris coming here, and then finally we relax down. So the sartorius is going to change its shape. The patella is going to relax down. This muscle is going to bulge up here. Okay, rectus femoris. Okay, abductors. Abductors turning out there. Gluteus. Okay, coming in here like this. Sartorius. Okay. Right. So there you have it. There you have an explanation of how to get better at legs. Legs can be anything you want them to be. Okay? Doesn't that look nice? Okay? Isn't it easy? Isn't it so simple? Isn't it so straightforward? It can be for you as well. Aren't I a badass? Okay? And the reason why I'm saying that is there's nothing wrong with it, because ultimately, no, sorry, while he's doing that kick, he's saying, tiger, tiger, uppercut, uppercut, sorry, the double mic, sorry. So, how would you use the anatomy when the anatomy is not known? But that's it. You make it known. You research, and the thing is you got to pick your fight. You want to be a creature artist, then you'd better research animal anatomy. You'd better research the anatomy of dolphins, of whales, of lizards, of birds. You'd better know. I know the anatomy of horses and dogs. I don't know it as well as humans, but I know the anatomy of horses and dogs. And then what you do is you fuse it. You understand that there's some consistency in all of these creatures. So even if you're doing a plant-like creature, like Jace searches for his father to unite the magic root and to the changing forms of sawdust, there's a power that comes from deep inside of you. Akka will know what that is. Man, what a theme song. So even if you want to design an evil plant creature, you go and research the anatomy of plants. And then you start looking at how they can fuse with human anatomy or whatever anatomy. So yeah. How you portray a fake smile. That's a difficult one. Maybe on another live stream. Because it's all in the eyes. You know? If you're not smiling with your eyes, it's a fake smile. You know? So when you're drawing it, it's the same thing.
So, AMB is the greatest archive anyone could ever ask for.
You know, of all the books I've read, of all the other online tutorials I've seen, this was the missing key.
Every video is like packed with this information that I would never be able to get anywhere else. So I would say this is the greatest resource for learning animation.
For me, AMB Animation Library is hands down the best animation learning resource that I've seen. I've tried all the tutorials, I've gotten all the books. I've never been able to really grow until I found AMB.
And it's incredible. I've only just begun it, but I definitely am getting more from that than I did from my 1.5 years of college.
I've noticed definitely that my animation has improved a lot, and it's more alive than ever. And what I also like about this animation training is that you also gain real confidence.
Real Animator Training Library is unequivocally the best resource for animation, 2D animation, traditional hand-drawn animation that I've seen.
So I wholeheartedly recommend the AMB Real Animator Training Library to anybody who wants actual knowledge and actual applicable concepts to create their own animation and to move forward in the field of animation and to set your work above those that are just kind of teaching themselves and not learning these tried and true classic concepts.
AMB is motivated by his students' successes and improvements. He's a great teacher, a great animator with over 20 years experience in the industry, so you can't really get much better than that. I strongly recommend him to anybody.
I'm thinking on how to put in words what I feel about it. I love that. It approached me from my dream of becoming an animator. Every cent I paid in there was worth it.
I like that the library is structured. I can go back and watch it anytime I want to, and he's just got so much knowledge. And I just highly recommend it to anyone who's out there looking to learn traditional 2D animation.
And so thank you, MB, so much. And thank you so much for all you done for me.
So, are you gonna join the library?